Assalamu alaikum guys, and welcome to another episode of Smile to Jannah. In the last few days, probably the biggest misinformation campaign, the most outlandish of stories has been plastered all over the nation, nay, I would say even globally as well. And yes, it is the story of the 40 babies.
Their heads cut off. That's what they said.
Now this is very ironic because this was said about Israeli babies. Some people even weaponizing it to the religion as well. And this is quite ironic because this is an accusation that is often levied against Israeli soldiers. It is something that they have been doing for decades. So naturally this story was repugnant, repulsive, and it was taken by social media. In fact, on Twitter, this story got 44 million views. News stations like I24 ran with it, and the reporter said she surveyed the dead babies. Every far right page I saw was posting it. Female propaganda models for Israel were coming forward and reinforcing it.
The bodies of 40 babies and toddlers were just found in just one of the communities that were slaughtered by Hamas.
Celebrities were running with it as well. You've got TV presenter of Countdown, Rachel Riley, who is a proud Jewish lady. J.K. Rowling, you know, the famous Harry Potter author, she ran with it as well. Not to mention the UK media were plastering it all over front page news. We saw the Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib also getting hounded with this story as well.
You can't comment about Hamas terrorists chopping off babies' heads. Congresswoman, do you have a comment on Hamas terrorists chopping off babies' heads?
In fact, it got so bad that it was being compared with the H word, mate. Oh yes, indeed. But we are told as young kids in secondary school, when we're doing newspaper writing, we're told about ethics, we're told about using evidence, we're told about accuracy, we're told about the virtuous occupation and responsibility of journalism. But it seems in the real world, all of that goes out the window, frankly, because it depends who's sitting on top of you. Now let's get to the refutation of this news story. The first thing is the Israeli army told Anadolu News that they do not have evidence confirming these allegations. They have not put evidences forward. That's number one. Number two, the reporter who presented the story has now backtracked. Before she said that she had surveyed the bodies, now she says the soldiers believe that it happened. And she did not go beyond that. Nothing about seeing it herself.
Alright, I'm guilty.
And not to mention I24, the main news that ran with the story, they were exposed by a fellow Israeli newspaper called Haaretz and were found to have links with, and get this, the Prime Minister of Israel, Netanyahu, and his family.
Damn!
In fact, I24 is so trusted that even Israeli Twitter handle put it forward as well. That says a lot, frankly, if they're promoting a story. And let's get to J.K. Rowling, who tweeted about it. Her manager and business partner is somebody called Neil Blair, an Israeli lobbyist.
Dark and difficult times lie ahead. Soon we must all face the choice between what is right and what is easy.
And the final evidence is Sky News themselves admitting that this story is not verified.
The reporting by one Israeli TV channel that 40 babies were murdered by Hamas, including being beheaded, makes a number of the front pages. We have asked on 3 occasions the IDF to confirm. They have not confirmed this reporting.
If you don't read the newspaper, you're uninformed. If you do read it, you're misinformed.
I was the CIA director. We lied, we cheated, we stole. It was like...
What a blunder. What an embarrassment. What an expose in front of the whole world to see. This is an example, a case study that you should spread, because 44 million people are under the delusion that this has taken place. And before they try and make it like, oh, you're supporting Hamas, and Suhaila Braverman is saying, oh, we got to crack down on supporting of Hamas, mate. Okay, let's look at what Mr. Benjamin Netanyahu said. Anyone who wants to thwart the establishment of a Palestinian state has to support bolstering Hamas and transferring money to Hamas. Netanyahu told this to the Likud party's Knesset members in March 2019. And he goes, this is part of our strategy. If my man was living in the UK, he'd be done for hate speech, mate. And he would fulfill the criteria to be getting hammered by Prevent, mate. So don't let people make it seem like anytime you identify misinformation and disinformation, they're like, aha, you must be supporting Hamas. Now, I'm sorry, we've heard this even at the time of Iraq as well. Whenever somebody questioned this whole weapons of mass destruction, hey, either you're with us or you're with them. No, mate. No, there is a middle ground, and that middle ground is Palestinians and Palestine. Not any group or this or that. Not interested in that stuff. We're interested in Palestine being free. And they try to put us towards this group and that group, this group did this.
Trying to convince you that they support the Palestinians, not Hamas. No. The Palestinians and Hamas are in bed together. They live together.
Moron! Fathead!
Don't let them manipulate you, because the reason why this story was so significant is because once you make them seem to be baby killers, it dehumanizes them. And what they're planning to do now in Gaza is to flatten it. Yeah, because what's happened now is unprecedented. They're pissed, mate. So they're going to be doing some madness. And in order to do that, first you got to dehumanize them. You got to make them to be people that are subhuman. And that's why the defense secretary is using words like, I'm going to leave my Patreon in the description. Make sure you guys support, because we need to make sure that we are supporting independent journalism, especially during periods like this. Let's leave it there. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum.